Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Big Baller Sports. This is your host, Asher, and we're going to get straight into today's segment. Last week, we had our co-host Eric join us, and we talked about the NFL preseason, of course, starting back up. And we also gave our predictions for this upcoming NFL season, as well as talking about the Kawhi Leonard investigation. We actually just heard that there's another investigation opened up against Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers, and that's surrounding the new, or shall I say, the jumbotron of the Intuit Dome Los Angeles Clippers Stadium. Apparently, the report is that Kawhi Leonard, he had undisclosed deals with a sponsorship deal with Daktronics. Now, Daktronics is the company that designed the Clippers Jumbotron or video board. And the man who's behind all of this news coming out, Kawhi Leonard, is none other than Pablo Torre. He is pretty much just on Kawhi's case in the Los Angeles Clippers, and he's coming out with these reports. Apparently, he identified he interviewed someone who was identified as an anonymous high-level source under contract for Intuit Dome, who alleged that the sponsorship deal was 1,000% a way to circumvent the salary cap. Just like I said last week, who knows how many other NBA players are doing this? Is it ethical? No. But at the end of the day, business is business. It's going to move on. What's going to happen at worst for Los Angeles Clippers? They're just going to get fined if it comes out to be true, which I doubt it. It's investigation going on for almost a year now. I feel like it needs to get over with. The Raptors are waiting on Kawhi to make it back to their team to start training with the players, getting ready for this upcoming NBA preseason. But we'll see what happens. I'm sure the NBA is not going to let Kawhi Leonard not play this upcoming season, even though it's under investigation. But we're going to now shift our focus into the NFL because that is what's coming up. That is what we saw this past week between the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, what a game at the Hall of Fame game, which is what was played. And for those who missed it, it was a very entertaining game. I mean, of course, it's preseason, but it was between the Carolina Panthers and the Arizona Cardinals. And it was 33-30. The Panthers won. Carson Beck led the way, though, for Arizona through 188 yards, 15 for 19 in passing, had one touchdown. But the Panthers, they had a late drive, and they were able to come up with the win. With that being said, I want to give a big shout out to all of the Hall of Famers who were inducted this past week. Drew Brees, Larry Fitzgerald, Luke Kuechly, Adam Vinatieri, and Roger Craig. And Drew Brees, of course, one of the top quarterbacks of our generation and in NFL history, along with Larry Fitzgerald in the wide receiver position, and Luke Kuechly as well, and Adam Vinatieri, in his respective kicker, class, he's up there. But yeah, man, Drew Brees, he gave a big shout out as well to his former head coach Sean Payne, who is also in attendance. He's the current coach for Denver Broncos. And they were revealed to their bust, which is pretty much their head sculpture that is solidified in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But in today's NFL news, of course, we got the Hall of Fame, but there is an interesting story or practice member who made his debut for the Los Angeles Rams. And this is actually a player who played for them up until he retired. Before we get into that story, let's hear from AIT Auto Insurance. And yeah, Aaron Donald is who practiced this past week with the Los Angeles Rams. Basically, what had happened was he wanted to practice, and he wanted to practice with a football helmet. So Sean McVay, the coach of the Los Angeles Rams, stated that we're going to be getting an update later this week. And they did not provide, whether Aaron Donald will be unretiring, coming out of retirement, but his presence was noticed, and he was listed as participating in a tryout for the team earlier in the week. So it's official. He was there. There was also some footage as well of him hitting some drills. And if this ends up happening, the Rams are the favorites for sure in the NFC. They may go on to win the whole NFC and make it to the Super Bowl. I don't know if they're going to win a Super Bowl because there are a lot of top contending teams in the AFC. But for sure, I can say if they stay fully healthy, who's stopping Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett? I believe that there's no one that comes close in terms of a defensive duo like that. I mean, we've had many in the back in the day. I remember as a Broncos fan, we had Von Miller and DeMarcus Ware, but this is something truly in a modern game. Like I believe that this may be one of the greatest defensive duos we've seen. These guys, of course, Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald, Defensive Player of the Year, Super Bowl champion. These guys are not to be messed with. And if you're an offensive lineman, if you're a team scheming up, what to do lining up against Aaron Donald and Myles Garrett, it's not going to be easy. They're going to have to triple team them, but then you got Aaron Donald who's going to be open or Myles Garrett. And they still have a really great defense over there in Los Angeles. But with that being said, next week, or should I say later this week, we are going to be full on with the preseason, the upcoming games to be played. I believe the first game of the preseason is between the Lions and the Bengals. And speaking of the Lions, Teddy Bridgewater may be retiring from what I've heard, because that is breaking news just 1 hour ago. And that's going to kick off the preseason. It's going to be a total of 3 weeks. And then, of course, the NFL season will be kicking off in September. But with that being said, we're going to wrap up the show. Thank you all for tuning in. This is your host, Asher. Make sure to follow Instagram, bigballersports with the Z at the end and 7S. And make sure to subscribe to the YouTube. We're very close to 600 subscribers. Big Baller Sports, just how it is on YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in. See y'all next time. We'll be right back.